So hi guys, so we are having Dhara with us, and she writes a newsletter which helps in monetizing and capture the audience. And we have one of the surprise thing that she has some great thing with Hrithik Roshan, I think so.
Yes,
Open that suspense, the surprise in the podcast. So over to you, Dhara. You can give an introduction about yourself.
right. Thank you so much, Pratyasha. My name is Dhara. I graduated in English literature, and right now I am a social media strategist, a copywriter. I also write newsletters, which is basically a form of copywriting. I
Yeah.
write for a newsletter called Marketing Monk. So recently we've also started posting on social media for
Okay.
Marketing Monk. And
Okay.
I wrote the video script for
Hmm.
our article on HRX,
Okay.
which is
So
Hrithik Roshan's brand.
yeah, yeah. So how did you back down that those brand with Hrithik Roshan? How did you?
Yeah, so it wasn't a brand deal. So basically, I write marketing case studies of brands.
Okay.
So I wrote a case study on HRX, which is Hrithik Roshan's brand. With so when we posted about that on Instagram as a reel, we posted that
Hmm.
as a reel. That reached Hrithik Roshan because that reel went viral because of course HRX is a very popular brand in India. So it
Okay.
reached Hrithik Roshan and he reposted it on his story. And then Hrithik Roshan's sister reposted it on her story. And she also follows us now. So it's really great like that.
So what was those case study that attracted Hrithik Roshan and his sister and her sister?
Yeah, so it was a case study on his brand HRX.
Okay.
The marketing case study for that. So I at Marketing Monk, we write marketing case studies for brands.
Okay.
So HRX was one of them.
So did you follow any key points that yes, that is going to be main point for my clients basically?
Right. So I think with any case study, with
Hmm.
any marketing case study specifically, some key points you need to cover are first of all how the brand was founded, why it was founded, who it was
Hmm.
founded by. Then we can move on to an STP analysis, a
Okay.
competitor analysis, the marketing mix of the brand, marketing advertisements that they covered, stuff like that. Everything that revolves around marketing.
Okay, so can you tell me what is STP analysis basically?
Yeah, so STP is segmentation, targeting, and positioning. So how
Okay,
the brand segments its audience, its target audience, and
okay,
how it positions the brand in front of that audience.
okay. So I just wanted to know that how you got started with copywriting and social media.
Yeah, so in 2022, I got an internship, which was a copywriting and marketing internship.
Hmm.
And I didn't know either of them at that time, but I just took it
Okay,
because it was at a publishing house and I love books. So I
okay,
just took it. And it was there. So my manager basically like sort of guided me through the basics and then I learned it on my own.
hmm.
So there is like a many free resources. For example, if anyone watching this wants to get started with copywriting,
Hmm.
I suggest that you look at Copy That. There's a channel called Copy That, and they
Okay,
have a 5 hour video on YouTube that teaches everything about copywriting.
okay.
That, yeah,
40 also. He is also a great copywriter.
yeah,
Yeah, he's a great copywriter. I love reading his mails and all.
yeah. There's many. So if you're active on LinkedIn, if you want to know how to write on LinkedIn specifically, Jasmine
Hmm.
Alec is the go-to guy. There's also Lara Acosta,
Yeah,
Dakota Robertson, Luke Matthews.
yeah.
All these people I follow, and they have great content.
And so basically, how did you got an internship in your in social media marketing and copywriting?
Right. Um, I didn't want to do. I hadn't planned to become a social media marketer.
Okay.
My plan was to become an editor initially
Hmm.
because I love books. I love being around books.
Okay.
So I applied at every publishing house that I could because I knew how to write
Hmm.
because I was studying English and I wrote content before that as well. So I applied to every possible publishing house and I heard back from a few of them and I got an internship opportunity from one of them. So it was only a copywriting role initially
Hmm.
and I learned that and everything was going well. So my manager wanted me to take over the social media marketing for them as well. So that's how the role evolved and I learned more.
So what? How do you create a social media strategy basically? Do you follow any framework and all?
Yeah, so there's a few things that we need to do to create a strategy across platforms. This applies to across platforms. So firstly, we can start with what is your goal with
Oh,
creating the strategy. So some brands need lead generation. Some brands need to create more brand awareness. Some brands need more engagement. So you need to look at what does your client want.
okay,
After that, what is their target audience? Um, Suppose if HRX is the brand, then their target audience is people who are into sports. Or if the brand is Tiggle, which is a hot chocolate brand, its target audience is more like Gen Z focused,
okay.
who want to have good chocolate at home.
Hmm.
So you need to see who you are writing for or who you are creating the plan for. Then you have to choose the right platforms because every brand doesn't work on every platform.
Okay, okay.
So if your brand is more visual, Instagram works for that. If your brand is more text-based or more professional or more B2B, LinkedIn will work for that. So you need to see where your audience is hanging out basically. After that, you need to actively engage with your
Hmm.
audience in these platforms because if you just post and post, then no one is going to engage with your post. So you need to talk to your audience. You need to respond to them.
Yeah,
You need to take their suggestions.
yeah.
This is something that helped us as marketing monk as well,
Hmm.
because our audience keeps suggesting us brands or they keep suggesting us like, we don't want this, we want this. After we implement that, the engagement rate goes up, brand trust goes up. So you need to always listen to your audience.
Dara, I think so. Your
And yeah,
voice. So you told that we should be engaging with the audience. So how we can engage with the audience basically?
right. So whenever someone comments on your
Hmm.
post, you respond
Yeah,
to them because many people don't even do that. So that's the bare
yeah, yeah.
minimum you can do for someone taking out the time to
Hmm.
comment. You can post stories. You can like find out what the audience wants. So on Instagram, this works
Yeah,
very well.
cool.
That you post
Yeah.
polls. Yeah, you post AMAs and stuff
Hmm.
like that. So that really helps with establishing a
Okay,
connection.
okay. And we should be liking on LinkedIn basically we can engage our audience with the comment and the like option also.
Yes, we can. On LinkedIn, basically, it's for B2B. So it's more personal brands. So if you get a
Huh,
client for LinkedIn, it's more towards like
huh.
ghostwriting. So you need to engage with who their ideal
Hmm.
client is. Just comment every day. Just be human. Don't be robotic. Don't just go like, oh, this is nice. I love this
Hmm.
great post. That doesn't work anymore. Jasmine Alik is the go-to guy. He has this commenting
Yeah, yeah.
strategy that he says that you post once and comment 100 a day, and that will help you like expand your
Yeah,
reach
that's
to another
definitely going to
level.
help us.
Yeah.
And so whenever
Yes. So for subject lines or hooks, you need to basically don't make it clickbaity
hmm.
because clickbait is basically you promise something else and the content is about something else.
Okay.
So the audience will realize that and never engage with you again.
Hmm.
So make it like a true promise,
Hmm.
but then write it in such a way that it's immediately attention grabbing or scroll stopping for the audience.
Okay, okay. And basically, how do we frame the CTA in the newsletter or in any LinkedIn post basically?
Yeah. So CTA usually comes towards the very end,
Hmm.
and you need for an for suppose a LinkedIn post.
Hmm.
For example, I'd written a post sometime back on the tofu mofu bofu strategy, and it so you need to first hook the audience
Hmm.
and then give them value in your post in an
Okay.
easily readable format.
Hmm.
And after that, there's a CTA to either comment
Hmm.
to either on LinkedIn is basically comments, right? So I
Yeah,
had
yeah.
created a CTA when it said something like, there's a free resource in the comments. So the
Hmm.
people can click on that and make use of that. So
Okay.
CTA, it's meant to be always action oriented. If you just say follow me for more, it usually doesn't work. So you need to give some benefit for the audience in CTAs.
Okay. Now I just wanted to tell you that how a newsletter is an engaging tool for your target audience, for your business also.
Yeah, so I can give you a comparison between social media and newsletters.
Hmm.
On social media, it's more dominated by algorithms. So you need to
Okay.
always stay on top of trends. You need to keep track of algorithm changes that it's very dynamic. And social media posts, it
Hmm.
goes out to everyone. So you don't know whom it's reaching. Like there are strategies to target it towards your target audience, but it takes some time.
Hmm.
Social media is more of a long-term game. With
Okay.
newsletters, they land directly in your audience's inbox. So even if they don't open it every time, they'll see your name pop up every time. On social media, that's not
Okay.
always the case. They'll just scroll for some time and your brand might not come up. It always shows up in their inbox, so people will remember your brand. Newsletters have a higher engagement in social media, so people
Okay.
actively like respond to emails and stuff like that, and that creates more engagement.
Okay. So Dhara, so you will be getting a project. So there will be a ton of challenges project. How did you overcome those challenges basically?
Yeah, so every project has been challenging. When I started with social media or copywriting, I didn't know what it was. When I started with newsletters, I didn't know what it was. Basically,
Hmm.
it just comes down to learning, not fearing
Hmm.
failure, testing things, analyzing data, and
Hmm.
applying your learnings. So for learning, I've included a lot of free resources in the doc itself.
Hmm.
Then you need to, whatever you put out, there will be
Hmm.
data for that. So on social media, it can be social media. On social media, you need to basically be aware of number of comments, shares, and saves rather than
Okay.
likes. So these are the key metrics that usually indicate that a post is good. LinkedIn, the number of impressions or comments
Hmm.
are good indicators. On newsletters, how many people, on newsletters especially, you can put out polls at the end of
Okay.
every newsletter, and this is what we do at Marketing Monk. So it
Yeah,
helps
yeah.
us to understand how the audience is liking the content, and we can get immediate feedback
Okay, okay.
on where it's going. Right.
Okay, so you just talked about the marketing monk. Basically, it's your startup, no?
No, it's not my startup. I work for Marketing Monk.
Okay, okay. So can you just provide
So
the example of those of your projects which make you that I should be moving out of my comfort zone and working on this project?
yeah, all of my projects have been like that. Like because I freelance, Marketing Monk is not freelancing, but other than that, I freelance. So every project is new, and every project has its own challenges. My initial internship was in itself a challenge. So I learned about, the BTS of what goes behind a social media strategy or
Hmm.
copywriting. Then my first client, I did the completed the process from end to end,
Hmm.
like pitching, pitching, creating a plan, executing the plan, and everything. That was a whole complete new challenge. And I think you just need to take every challenge as an opportunity
Hmm.
to grow. Like I'm someone who can't keep doing the same thing every day.
Okay,
So that is why I work in social media because it is so dynamic. But it needs it
totally
needs you to be
changing.
on your toes.
Yeah, trends
Yeah.
totally changing.
But you also need to understand what your strengths are, what your personality is. So if you're someone who is comfortable with doing something for a long time and doesn't like too much of change,
Hmm.
then you should analyze what your strengths are and capitalize on those
Okay.
rather than just seeing that social media is a trend and I want to do that.
Hmm.
It doesn't work like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So basically, how do you balance creativity in your field? Basically.
With creativity, I read this quote which resonates with me a lot. That creative people need time to just do nothing.
Okay.
And that is very true because when you do boring tasks, like when you're just walking or when you are cleaning the room or when you are like doing dishes, that is when you have the most amazing
Yeah, yeah.
ideas. You need to let yourself do nothing for some
Hmm.
time to let your brain work
Okay.
naturally. And after that, it's not only about being creative, you need to balance it with
Hmm.
how your new ideas are working. So, like I said, on social media, these key metrics we have to track. We have to see what worked, what didn't work, why it
Hmm.
didn't work, how can we make it better. So it's like constant process.
Okay. Now I just wanted to know that there ton of people who are they have one problem. They don't want to do the freelancing because they are not getting the client. So what is your take
Right.
on this? Because see, even I face this struggles. So what are those things that we should be following that we should be getting a client?
Right. So lead generation is a whole different skill set that we need to
Hmm.
learn. My approach was right now, marketing monk is what my major focus
Hmm.
is. But when I used to freelance aggressively, basically my approach was to create content.
Okay.
So I was very active on LinkedIn and Instagram at that
Hmm.
time. So it helps you to reach. So even when you're DMing prospects and stuff like that, it helps you to reach out to them
Okay.
confidently. Like they can see that you
Hmm.
already know stuff. So it's easier to establish trust. And after that, you need to talk to them.
Okay.
So you DM them and you really talk to them. Like not in a I want this, I can give you this
Hmm.
manner, but just be human. Like be genuinely interested in what they want, what their problems are, what can you solve for them, and what their benefits are. If you only talk about yourself, nothing will happen. So whenever Tanmay Bhatt also says this, I recently heard it in a podcast of his
Hmm.
that whenever you approach someone with a cold email, you say, "Hi, I went through your profile.
Hmm.
I saw that it's doing great, but it has these problems, and one, two, three,
Hmm.
the problems. These are my suggestions on how to solve these problems. If you want more, we can get on the call." And these type of emails are those that get converted easier.
Okay. Basically, see, for getting the outbound clients, we need to see that what problem are they facing and how we are going to analyze those problems. We need to be skilled and implementing those skills.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
so
So with social media, how
yeah, yeah. Yes. So I just wanted to say that whenever we approach the client, we should be having a grasp about something. If we are copywriter, we are not a copywriter. We are just approaching the client. We won't get the client. So,
not like that. So for example, on social media, when I used to approach people like that,
hmm,
I already had like content on my platform, and I used to analyze how their content is doing.
hmm,
Basically, you can see the number of the reach that they have or what they're writing, and you can for social media especially, you see ads
hmm,
on social media. On Instagram, every third post is an ad, so you can see like what this ad is. For this, you need practice.
hmm,
So what I usually do is take any piece of copy, take any piece of ad, anything that you see on social media, and dissect it. So this is the header, this is their main body, this is what they wrote, this is an action word, this is a CTA,
hmm,
stuff like that. And try to think about why this is there. And if you think that you can write it better,
hmm,
go ahead and write it better and pitch to them
yeah.
that this is this, but if you just change this, I think that this ad will convert better. So if just try it for free, and if you think that it works, then we can connect for more. Like it's a repetitive process, and you have to do 100 to convert maybe one or two of them. But that's how it works initially. Yeah.
So can you just give me? I just read your post. Okay, there was tofu, and mofu. I know tofu was top of the funnel, mofu was bottom of the funnel, and mofu was in the middle of the funnel. Yeah, yeah.
Middle of
So you can
yeah.
explain it.
So all of these are like three types of posts three types of content pillars basically that you can create
Okay,
your
okay,
content around. For top of the funnel, the goal is to entertain the audience. For middle of the funnel, the goal is to nurture the audience that you've
okay,
already got. And for BOFU, the goal is to convert
okay.
that audience. So if you
Hmm.
reach this much audience, then you taper down and you taper down and you can convert this audience.
Okay,
That's why it's like a numbers game.
okay. Freelancing is not an easy thing. You also know. Okay, so I just wanted to tell you that
Yeah.
we get one client. Okay, our contract expires. So how we can find a client? So there is a one thing that we can get a referral.
Yeah. So you can so for
Yes. So
yeah,
for
yeah, please go
referral
on.
also we need to create an offer so we can get more clients also.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Completely true. We can get more clients like that. In fact, people who come through referrals already have a trust in us because they trust the
Okay,
person who
okay,
gave the referral. So it's easier to convert those clients who
okay.
come through referrals. Apart from that, with things like social media, copywriting, newsletters, it's
Hmm,
also repetitive. So try to
okay.
establish recurring contracts. Like on social media, many people do a
Hmm,
3 month minimum retainer. Like
hmm.
the more you retain the clients, the more easier it is for
Okay.
both of you to work.
Okay, and I just want to tell you that Dara, you're an experienced person. So there are many people who are not getting a client and they just want to give up on their freelancing job. So can you just give them a one motivational thing that yeah, it's okay. You need to work on it. You will be getting a client.
Yeah, so I think you already said because it is just that like you
Yeah.
need to put in the work and then you can get the clients. But I also feel like freelancing today is has become like a buzzword
Hmm.
and it's very glorified. So freelancing is not for everyone. Like some people are comfortable in 9 to 5 and
Hmm.
it is not bad at all. Like 9 to 5 jobs have been very defaced basically. Like it's the Senate, this, that, politics, whatever. But then freelance when you work a 9 to 5, there's this thing that goes around. When you work for 9 to 5, you only work from 9 to 5. But when you do
Hmm.
freelancing, you work in 24/7. So you need to have sort of some sort of like business sense with freelancing as well. Only your skills don't work there. So you need to learn the business aspects. You need to continuously implement, learn, implement, learn, implement. That's and sorry. And
Hmm.
don't fear failure. That's what it is.
Hmm.
I read this in a book once, which said that go out with the intention
Hmm.
of getting rejected. With freelancing, I think initially I also used to fear this, that what if they tell no, what if they say
Hmm.
no to me? But that is the worst that can happen. They will only say no to me. They won't harm me in any way. They won't do
Hmm.
anything to me. So go out and then maybe say that my goal today is to get rejected by 10
Hmm.
prospects. So DM 10 prospects and think that they're going to reject you. So if even if like one or two people convert from that, that is a bonus for you. So that is sort of a reverse psychology that you can use on
Okay,
yourself.
so just I wanted to tell you that you were telling that freelancing was uh, there's one 9 to 5 job and freelancing is basically 24/7 job. Okay, so we see a ton of people. I was just reading somewhere else that we cannot work for 24/7, but we need to mention in the contract that I'm going to work till 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. So don't disturb me after this. So this is a contract basis that many people do it.
Yeah, right. And absolutely, you need to set
Yeah.
boundaries with your clients like that. You can't work 24/7
Hmm.
for clients. But what I mean by that is when you are when you start freelancing, it basically converts into more
Yeah,
of a
yeah.
business with you at the center of it. So you have to handle a lot of administrative tasks, your own content creation, and stuff like that, apart from your client's work. So that is more time consuming, at least
Yeah, yeah.
initially.
So, Dara, we're coming into it. So, I just wanted to tell you that you are an English literature student and you love reading books basically. So,
Yeah,
what we
I
should
do.
be reading if we need to keep our communication strong and if we need to know much more about the freelancing and business?
Right. So I think there's many videos and posts about, best business books,
Hmm.
best marketing books for social media and copywriting especially. Marketing and storytelling is what you need to learn as well because that is what will help you understand consumer psychology. Consumer psychology is again something that you need to learn.
Oh,
And I think people often see fiction as something redundant and useless, but it is not
it's
like
not
that.
like that.
If you read fiction books, it will help you with improving your
Yes, yes,
storytelling.
yes.
So you make it a balance, like read one fiction and one non-fiction at least every month.
Hmm.
Some books I will suggest for fiction, especially if you've not read Harry
Yeah, yeah.
Potter, please start with that. It's very easy to read and it's very engaging and it's so brilliantly written. And there's many books. My bookstagram is moody_bibliophile, where I sometimes
Yeah, yeah.
post
I'll
about
be
books.
pasting in the
So you can
description so people
check it
will
out there.
follow you. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
thank you so much. Also, for
Hmm.
non-fiction, there's some books I've read recently that I think will be amazing. So one is Steal Like an Artist by Austin Kleon. One is $100 Startup by I forgot the name. I'm sorry, but one book is
Yeah,
called
yeah.
$100 Startup. Yeah. And one book is The Almanac of Naval
Yeah,
Ravikant. So all these are basically
that person is
mindset
going to totally
books
change your
and
mindset.
tips and stuff like that, which also
Yeah, yeah.
needs to change.
That
Yeah.
uh yeah, so Dhara,
So these are books that I please go on.
yes, Dhara, I just wanted to tell you that so we are having many things in our table. One is podcast, one is book, third thing is course, fourth thing is newsletter. So what should we do basically? These are the
Yeah.
four things I think so we can absorb knowledge. Yeah,
Like to
how we can
manage it,
manage these things.
I think everything
Yeah,
is
yeah.
interconnected. So if you say podcasts, books, courses, and newsletters, everything is interconnected. So you learn from books. You talk about the books on podcast. You
Hmm.
repurpose that on your newsletter, and you teach about that in your course. So everything is interconnected. Like
Hmm.
if you create a system out of it. You don't
Yeah,
need to
yeah,
think about
sure.
like new things every time.
So Dara, it was pleasure talking to you, and thank you for being our guest.
Thank you so much, Pratyasha. And I'll send you
Yeah,
over the
yeah,
link that you can put in the description. So it has
yeah, yeah.
everything that
So
you
thank
need
you
to
so
get started.
much. Yeah, you have a
Thank
great
you so
day.
much, Pratyasha. Have a great day ahead.